The good news just keeps pouring in for the Philadelphia Eagles and their passionate fan base. And honestly, it's hard not to get excited with everything happening around this team. The vibes in Philly right now are through the roof, and a lot of that energy is thanks to the latest developments regarding quarterback Jalen Hurts. Let's dive into it. So over the weekend, we finally got a detailed look at Jalen Hurts' contract numbers. These details were released by his agent. And there's a lot more to this story than just the raw figures. If you rewind to the 2020 season, Jalen Hurts was on top of the football world. He finished second in MVP voting right behind Patrick Mahomes. He led the Eagles all the way to the Super Bowl. And he came so close to lifting that Lombardi trophy, it was clear he had earned his payday. And Philadelphia rewarded him in a big way. For a brief moment in time, Hurts became the highest paid player in NFL history. That record didn't last long because, as we all know, the quarterback market in the NFL is constantly shifting, and salaries are skyrocketing like never before. But here's where things get interesting and why Eagles fans should feel even better about their franchise quarterback. During the negotiations, Jalen Hurts told his agent, Nicole Lynn, something that shows exactly what kind of leader he is. According to Lynn, Hurts didn't want to be bothered with constant updates. He wasn't sitting by the phone asking for play-by-play details of every conversation with the front office. His mindset was simple: get the deal done and let me know when it's finalized. When Nicole finally informed him that he was now the highest paid player in the league, his response wasn't one of celebration or chest pounding. He simply said, "I didn't ask you to do all that." That reaction speaks volumes about his character. But Hurts didn't stop there. His main concern throughout the entire process was his team. He wanted to know how the structure of the deal would impact the salary cap, and what it meant for the organization's ability to keep key players around him. That kind of selfless attitude is rare, especially in a league where so many players understandably want to maximize their earnings. Hurts took an approach that would allow general manager Howie Roseman and the Eagles front office to continue building a competitive roster around him, looking ahead to the 2025 season. When you glance at the list of the NFL's highest paid quarterbacks, based on average annual value, Jalen Hurts now sits at number 11. Think about that for a second. Quarterbacks like Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and even Trevor Lawrence are all making more per year than Hurts. Prescott, in particular, tops the list at $60 million annually. That's a massive number, and when you compare it to Hurts' $51 million per year, it's clear that Philadelphia got great value for a player of his caliber. What's even better for the Eagles is that Hurts is still only 27 years old. He's entering what should be the prime years of his career, and there's every reason to believe he's still improving as a passer, as a leader, and as a decision maker. Hurts continues to develop, and given his mindset during the contract talks, there's hope that he'll maintain this team-first attitude in any future negotiations. There's even historical precedent for quarterbacks seeking adjustments to their contracts when market dynamics shift. The Buffalo Bills, for example, reworked Josh Allen's deal to increase his pay even though they didn't have to. Hurts, based on his production and accomplishments, could easily make the case for a bump in salary. He could look at the names ahead of him on that pay list and say, "I'm better than several of these guys. Let's redo my contract." But so far, he hasn't. That's a huge win for the Eagles. By maintaining this approach, Hurts allows Philadelphia to continue surrounding him with elite talent. It's no secret that Super Bowl winning teams usually boast stacked rosters. Jalen Hurts might not be the kind of quarterback who can carry an entire team by himself without help, and honestly, very few can. But thanks to the flexibility created by his contract, the Eagles have been able to lock in stars like A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, and even bring in Saquon Barkley to bolster the offense. Add in one of the best defensive lines in football, and you have the perfect environment for sustained success. And while we're on the subject of team building, it's worth mentioning how well Howie Roseman continues to navigate the salary cap. The way Hurts' deal was structured, with option bonuses and clever cap management, kept the immediate cap hits manageable. That forward-thinking approach allows Philadelphia to stay aggressive in free agency and retain key players when extensions are due. There's also something poetic about Jalen Hurts' own words following a post-game press conference last season, when he said, "Money's nice, but championships are better." That quote sums up his entire philosophy. He's all about winning, and it's that mindset that puts him in stark contrast with some other quarterbacks around the league. Take Dak Prescott, for instance, after signing his massive deal, the Cowboys became overly reliant on him, and the rest of their roster suffered as a result. Dallas has struggled with roster depth and balance, and it's a big reason why they haven't been able to get over the hump. Meanwhile, Hurts and the Eagles continue to thrive, of course. We don't know how future negotiations will play out, but if Hurts sticks to the same approach, Philadelphia is going to remain a contender for years to come. His selflessness sets the tone for the entire locker room, and you better believe that has a ripple effect throughout the organization. Switching gears to the defensive side of the ball, there's another big storyline that Eagles fans need to keep an eye on. The team is coming off a year where the defense played at an absolutely elite level. Especially down the stretch, defensive coordinator Vic Fangio worked some real magic, particularly after the bye week in Week 5. From that point on, the Eagles became one of the stingiest defenses in the league. To put some numbers behind that, after the bye, Philadelphia ranked first in points allowed per game at 18.1. They also led the NFL in yards allowed per game, giving up just 288.6 yards. The defense also ranked first in yards per play allowed, 8th on third downs, and 6th in red zone defense. That kind of dominance on both sides of the ball is exactly why the Eagles were able to capture their second Lombardi trophy since 2017. However, as impressive as last season's defense was, the challenge now is replacing over 4,000 snaps lost due to off-season departures. It's a long list of players who were either traded, signed elsewhere, or retired. Veterans like Darius Slay are now with the Steelers. Milton Williams secured a big contract from the Patriots. C.J. Gardner-Johnson was traded to the Texans. Josh Sweat got a nice payday from the Cardinals. Isaiah Rodgers signed with the Vikings. Brandon Graham decided to retire after a legendary career in Philly. Avonte Maddox is now with the Lions, and reports out of Detroit say he had a fantastic spring. Bryce Huff was traded to the Niners. Oren Burks signed with the Bengals. Every single one of these guys played meaningful snaps for the Eagles at one point or another, and their departures leave big shoes to fill. But here's the thing, Zach Bond, one of the key returning players, offered some encouraging words during an appearance on the Exciting Mix podcast. Joined by teammates Nakobe Dean and Reed Blankenship, Bond talked about how the entire defense already feels miles ahead of where they were this time last year. That's huge. Remember, last season was the first year under Vic Fangio's defensive system. There were bound to be growing pains as players learned a new scheme and adjusted to new responsibilities. Despite that, the unit performed at an elite level. Now, with a full season under their belts and a better understanding of Fangio's philosophy, the returning core has a real chance to take another step forward. Yes, it's going to be tough to replace all the production lost from those departing veterans. That kind of turnover would challenge any team. But Bond's comments highlight something important. The players who are still here aren't starting from scratch anymore. They've got the system down, they're more comfortable in their roles, and they're ready to step into bigger positions of leadership and responsibility. For fans wondering whether the defense can maintain its dominance, it really comes down to internal development and how quickly some of the younger players can adjust to expanded roles. If the returning group continues to progress and the new faces gel quickly, there's every reason to believe that Philadelphia's defense can still be one of the best units in the NFL next season. With Jalen Hurts leading the offense and a hungry, evolving defense under Vic Fangio, the Eagles are setting themselves up for another deep postseason run. The leadership, the roster balance, and the organizational culture all point towards sustained success. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are swirling around the Philadelphia Eagles as news breaks that Tanner McKee, the promising quarterback, has been sidelined by the team's management. Although no official statement has yet been released, sources close to the organization hint at disciplinary reasons behind McKee's sudden absence from practice sessions, sparking intense speculation among fans and analysts alike. McKee, who has been seen as a potential future star for the Eagles, now finds himself at the center of an unexpected controversy. The details remain vague, but insiders suggest that this decision was not taken lightly and points to some internal issues that have prompted the Eagles front office to take swift action. Such a move, especially in the midst of an important season phase, has raised eyebrows and fueled rumors across social media and sports networks. The Eagles have traditionally maintained a strict code of conduct, emphasizing discipline and team unity, so any deviation from these values often leads to immediate consequences. Tanner McKee's sudden removal from practice could indicate a breach of these principles, or a clash with the coaching staff. While the team has refrained from elaborating, the silence only adds fuel to the fire, encouraging fans to speculate wildly about what could have led to this drastic step. Some insiders speculate that the issue might be related to attitude problems or failure to meet the team's expectations during training, while others wonder if it could be tied to off-field behavior. Given the high stakes involved in maintaining a cohesive squad, the Eagles' management seems determined to send a clear message to all players about the importance of professionalism and commitment. McKee's absence undoubtedly affects the team's quarterback depth, raising questions about how the Eagles will adjust their game plans moving forward. Will this punishment be temporary or hint at something more serious? Could this situation affect McKee's standing with the team or his career trajectory? All these questions remain unanswered, but the buzz around the Eagles' locker room suggests that this story is far from over. Philadelphia fans, known for their passion and impatience, are eagerly waiting for official news while keeping a close eye on how this situation will unfold. For now, Tanner McKee's fate hangs in the balance, and every practice missed adds to the uncertainty. As the rumor mill churns, one thing is clear: the Eagles are making a statement, and the football world is watching closely. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.